it's an ace in your back pocket to know that if you want to run the ball, you can run the ball whenever you want to, and nobody could do a damn thing about it.
Let's get over to our friend Barrett Brooks, Sports Take. Barrett, love the show, bro. I mean, I watch it daily. You guys kill it, especially you and D Gun. I think you guys have absolutely warped Rob, though. You've turned him into some dude. That's not the same guy that started that show, Barrett. Oh, one thing still stays the same, Barrett. You're muted.
I'm always muted, man. It's my fault.
You guys have changed Rob, dude.
Bro, I don't know what's going on, man. I don't even know that dude anymore, man. I mean, he's one of the few now, man, that have tried to keep us real, but he's just all right. Just go now, guys. Just go. Just do it. Do what you're gonna do.
Hey, Barrett, what we were talking about, I took it off and I basically grabbed a couple of things that you guys were saying here. I'll tell you what, Mitch is a free agent at the end of the year. March 16th is when the new calendar year for the league starts. So as soon as the season's over, he's going to be able to go wherever he wants, and how he's not going to get compensation for this guy. As you get closer to the trading deadline, and you said this, I heard you say it, you went, that dude is not staying here. There's too many crappy quarterbacks in the NFL. He could start in Carolina right now.
Right now.
Could you use him right now to take one of those ends down in Carolina?
I like Brian Burns. And if they're going to have to sign some people under the cap now, good players, and he's a young player. He got drafted, 19, first rounder. I think it was Florida State or something like that. He's averaged about 9 sacks. I think over the last 3 years, he has 29.5 sacks. He can rush the pass. They need something to get this defense going because, as you can tell, Gannon loves to let those guys eat up front, and because he has so much trust in the back end, so why wouldn't you go get a guy like him, man? I mean, even, Motus, what's his name? Motus?
Yeah.
Gross Motus?
Yeah.
From Penn State. Either one of those guys, get them under a good contract, get them in here, and, because you're going to have to pay Jalen in a minute. So why wouldn't you go out and get that? They are looking for, right now, Baker Mayfield is out. P.J. Walker is starting for the Carolina Panthers this weekend. I know he's a guy who was formerly at Temple. That was one of the former coach's guys. But is he ready to go in and play at a high level? I haven't seen him. I don't know. He didn't get drafted that high that I would say that I have a lot of trust in him. So why wouldn't you trade a guy like Minshew? Minshew has a lot of value right now, especially what's going on in the NFL. And Jalen seems to know how to protect himself. He's getting down. He's making sure he's not getting hurt. They're putting him in great positions, which he knows when it is to throw a ball away as opposed to taking a hit or taking a sack. So, I mean, if you're trying to get further, if you're trying to win now, it can go both ways. It can go like this and say, all right, we're trying to win now. We're trying to go to the Super Bowl. We're going to need a backup quarterback just in case Jalen gets hurt. I understand that. Would you go with Ian Book, former Notre Dame quarterback? Or do you keep Gardner Minshew here? And we know how he loves to get value. He loves to get value. He can definitely get some value out of that trade. And if you don't, I mean, what does Christian McCaffrey look like in the backfield if you get him there? Put him anywhere in that backfield. Yeah, he gets hurt, man, but maybe he's turned over a new leaf. Maybe
not only that, but he'd be sharing it with Miles, who's 4th in the league right now, Barrett.
Right.
You put that tandem in the backfield, man. He has that asset. Then you add a screen game. You couldn't defend that offense.
No way. I mean, you look at it, you got Christian McCaffrey back. They run 21 personnel. That means you have 2 good backs in the backfield, Christian McCaffrey, and you go out and bring in any one of the 3 backs. But, yeah, you have Miles Sanders back there. Pick your poison as a defense. How do you guard against whatever they want to do? They can pass the ball in that formation and they can run a rock in that formation. Both guys are blocked for each other. Man, that'd be a great combination. You're damned if you do and damned if you don't when you're a defense, when you're going against a tandem like that.
Barrett, do you agree? I don't know if I've seen, and I'm hearing people say poor quarterback play, but I'm going to tell you where I think this leads to. I have never in my years, in my short time playing and covering the league, seen more poor offensive line play in my life
Oh
in
my
the
God.
entire league. I mean, Barrett, I think the number one thing that the Eagles have the advantage on, it's not that they're not just the best line, they're the deepest line, and they benefit so much from that. I mean, how many teams have complete O-lines? 2 others?
Exactly.
I mean, am I right when I say that? It's like some of
Absolutely.
the worst offensive line play that it's really been in a long time.
I just look at that offensive line. Number one, it's the best offensive line in the NFL, bar
Yeah.
none. They run the ball when they want to run the ball. They can pass when they want to pass. They protect Jalen. Coach Stoughton has trained them guys to be great players. But then you look at the backups. They come in and they're almost seamless. Cam Jurgens may be a top 10 center in the NFL, but he has a top 1 or 2 center right there in front of him. That's amazing. You got a guy like Andre Dillard now. He's healthy. He's back on the roster. He's definitely a starter in the NFL at the left tackle position. You go Suapeta, strong backup guard that can go and play left and right guard. They have enough depth right now. They can play against anybody. They just brought up Josh Seals, one of their project guys. We're talking about a big, strong kid, like 6'5", 6'6", 320 pounds. They love these big, stout guards, man. And with the guys they have front, Landon Dickerson right now is playing at an all-pro level. If he could just stay healthy and stay in the game the entire game, he is mauling people. I challenge anybody to go in there when he's playing on the field and see that he's not a top guard in the NFL right now. Play for play, he is mauling people. He is killing people. When he's in the game, he's a difference maker. What we have is a second team that won't win a game for you, but they won't lose a game for you.
Hey, Barrett, I call Jack Driscoll the best Swiss Army knife.
Right.
Offensive guard. He's not the greatest left tackle, left guard, right guard, or maybe even a right tackle. But I'll tell you what you have with that kid. He's a Swiss Army knife. You can use him anywhere, and that's a huge value.
That's huge value. That's more value than people are really giving him credit for. This kid can come in, and you don't have to worry about missing a beat. If he goes in at guard, he'll be a better guard than he is a tackle. But he's a very functional tackle. You won't lose games with him. And he reminds me of myself. I wasn't necessarily going to win a game for you the latter part of my career. I started my first 6 years of my career, and my second 6 years of my career, they labeled me a backup, and I couldn't get out of it. But, hey, I tell you what, I will never lose a game for you, and I would never win a game for you. But I was good enough that you would not notice that I'm in the game. And that's all you want from an offensive lineman. You don't notice that I'm in the game. You don't have to send protection my way. You don't have to change the offense when I'm in the game. All I'm going to do is go out there and fight tooth and nail, and that's exactly what Jack Driscoll is doing. So with that combination of backups and starters, this team is going to go far in the league. I mean, from an offensive standpoint, it's an ace in your back pocket to know that if you want to run the ball, you can run the ball whenever you want to, and nobody could do a damn thing about it. If you want to take control of the game, run 4-minute offense, nobody can stop you. Nobody has yet stopped you. The only person to stop this offense is themselves. They stop themselves. Foolish penalties, blocking down the field, illegal offensive linemen down the field, or maybe a holding call here and there. Those are the only things that stop this offense. They can create offense just by running the rock and running zone read. I tell you what, Jalen Hurts is carved his way out from being like a top 15, 14, 13, to now being right around 11, 10, 9, maybe even 8 in the league as far as quarterbacks.
You know what, Barrett? I threw this out there yesterday, and tell me if you agree or disagree. And I hear you say this all the time, and I'm going to ask you about the metric and how you look at him, but you're dead on. If you're looking at elite and you're putting that elite tag on guys like Allen and Mahomes, he's never going to be that.
No.
But you know what he is? He's maybe the most unique quarterback in the league, because what you said, watch this, that 155 yards he had against the Cowboys, I thought he threw for 300 yards.
Right.
They were so impactful. They were so impactful, right? Meaningful yards. You know, we see guys throw 350, 400 yards sometimes, and you get killed 38-17. You're like,
exactly.
Yeah. But when I watch him,
Kirk Cousins,
great example, man. He goes around Dak Prescott, if you want to throw that into the conversation.
Exactly.
But am I right when I say this? when you're unique like this, there's been 6 different chapters in this book this year. The Detroit chapter, the Vikings chapter. What an absolutely impossible game plan to try to put together to try to fight this Eagle team. Do you agree? They're the alpha dog in every game they play, but you're the most unique in the league. That's how you look at this.
Well, he's done everything. He's ran and won a game against Detroit. Against a Minnesota team that's now 5-1. He beat them with his arm. They passed the ball for him. He had over 300 yards in the first half. Then he turns around. He runs the ball consistently against the top, not number 1. I mean, not number 2, not number 3, but the top defense when they played him against the run in the Jacksonville Jaguars. Ran all, had over 200 yards on him. Running back had 135 yards on him. That's the best defense against the run when they played against them. They can win any way you want to do. They can go in there and get balanced. And everybody's talking about, oh, he's only thrown for maybe 4 passing touchdowns and he has 6 rushing touchdowns. Why didn't he have pass? When you look in the stat line, it doesn't say anything but touchdown. Okay, if he ran it, if he threw it, it doesn't matter just as long as the touchdown. And then the most important is the win column. That's the only stat you should be worried about. Right now, it says they're unblemished. They have the number 1 as far as, stat lines and where it belongs in the win column.
Barrett, how about this? Since the 2-5 start of last year, Shane Steichen as the play caller is 15-4. Do you think that he doesn't get enough credit when we're sitting there always talking about Gannon and the deficiencies on that side of the football? Here's a guy that you just said that Taylor made an offense for this guy. He was more tailored to build an offense around him because they've customized this offense and turned it into the Jalen Hurts offense. And that's Shane Steichen. Again, man, that's pretty impressive. 15-4 since he's turned into the play caller. I mean, that has to say something about, and I know Nick's involved in it too, but what's your take on that?
Shane Steichen has put his guy in a position where even the play selection that they're using, like on the last touchdown that they scored, they ran this play. They probably run this play about 5 or 6 times a game. It's a read option that has an RPO with it. And what it is the option, like their option in that end, and that's how they were trying to alleviate the pressure that Micah Parsons was having. They said, all right, if we can't beat him, let's read him. And that's what Coach said. If we can't beat him, let's read him. So we put him in a compromise. If you're going to crash down with me and allow me to and I can't give the ball to the running back, then I'm going to pull it and I can run. But on the same play, they also have Dallas Goedert on that side of the ball. And what they do is they have him influence the in out, which keeps him outside so you can hand it off if you want to, but they want to score a touchdown. 4 times before that, they threw the pass, a little out route that influenced the in out to Dallas Goedert. And he's got up chunk yardage on it, 8 yards here, 5 yards there. And they were in the red zone. They were like 3rd and 5 or something like that. So they could have thrown it to him. Well, the defense understood that they wanted to throw it to Dallas Goedert, but they put a little caveat on it. On that play, they usually have the receiver come down to block the safety and crap block on him so you can get the ball to Dallas Goedert, and then he can take it up the field. Well, what they do this time to score, they act like Smitty's going to go down and crack that safety, but instead he flipped out, turned around, made himself available in the end zone, boom, a touchdown. That's great play calling because they broke down what the defense is trying to do to them. All right, they're going to go to Dallas Goedert. They double-team Dallas Goedert, which left Smitty all alone by himself. That's what you talk great game planning by the offensive coordinator, Shane Steichen.
3 last questions here for you, Barrett. Barrett, just to expand on what you're saying, to me, what I love what he's done also in customizing this offense, he sees what he has on 3rd down. I'll tell you the one play as a defensive guy that breaks my ass every time Hurts is on the field. Dude, there's not a 3rd and 12, 3rd and 8 that I don't think he's not going to get. I mean, every time I see him, and when you break the edges down like that, the way he does, I would rather have him do that because here's why I think they're winning also. It's a low percentage play compared to you throwing the ball at 3rd and 8.
Yep.
Let him take off. I mean, if he doesn't get it, it's 4th and short. You're moving the chains on field position. You kick the ball. There's nothing wrong with punting. It's part of field position.
And then people act like that's a travesty.
And it's not, because what they're doing is they're systematically, right, Barrett? They're moving you down the field.
They're flipping the field.
Because they're doing low percentage plays. They don't throw the ball plus 25. They keep everything underneath, and that RPO offense is protecting the football. I mean, I think it's remarkable. It's not so much the touchdowns that he has, it's the amount of turnovers they don't have.
Well, and it's also the amount of time that they keep the other offense off the field.
Yeah.
By keeping the chains moving.
Time of possession.
And when you're a defensive coordinator, how irritating is it that you have everything shut down? You shut down the receiver, you shut down the tight end, you shut down the running back, and then you have a quarterback who squats 600 pounds, goes out and bangs his way into getting a first down, and now they're keeping the sticks moving. You've done everything right, and he still makes you look bad because his ability to run the ball. He's quick, he's explosive, and he's strong as hell. That's what a lot of these quarterbacks, like Lamar. Lamar is fast, explosive, has a cannon of an arm, but he doesn't have that 600-pound squat that Jalen had. Jalen is he's the red zone back. You know, you say you want a red zone big back. That's exactly what Jalen is. He's the red zone big back that can actually throw the rock. And he has a little touch with his passes too. He's evolved and made himself better than what anybody else thought he was going to be.
Hey, Barrett, I think he's like the best passer in the history of like that Wildcat. I mean, I think this is the guy that everybody wanted the Wildcat to look like back in the day, but they never had the passing arm guy to manipulate the passing game. And I think it's kind of like a hybrid of that a little bit. Hey, two last questions here for you. Here's my only problem with the 6-0 start. Dude, finish these fuckers off.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
You know what? I mean, Barrett, when you're on someone's throat and you see your D coordinator, he kind of does some good stuff in the first half. They make the halftime adjustments, pulls back, plays in that zone, takes the corners off. I mean, you sit there and you allow that weak zone in the middle, 20-17. Arizona comes back. All of them come back. Michael, thank you very much. I appreciate that. But am I right, Barrett? I mean, dude, you're on their throat. Kill them. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it.
You got
don't
to, man.
Don't you agree, Barrett? Close them out.
You can't let them stay in games because the more you keep them in games, the better they feel about themselves and they can come back, you know.
Barrett, what's a product of that, of not being able to close them out?
That they don't think that on first down, they get 2 yards or 3 yards.
Is it the coaches not adjusting to the coaches' adjustments?
No, it's more so this. All right, you run the rock and you go first play, you get two yards on it. Second play, you get 4 yards on it. Now you have to pass the ball. So they come out the next time, you only got 2 yards the first time, so you're not going to run the time. You're going to pass this time to make sure you stay on time. Don't do that. Continue to run the rock because it's the war of attrition. The more you beat up on that defense, the more it's effective on them because now they have to turn around and get themselves off the ground. They're picking themselves up. Keep running the rock. A second and 8 is not as bad as you think because you can run it again and maybe get 8 more yards. You have a first down with your running back. This offensive line is now going forward. They're getting all lathered up and they're ready to play more. They're getting hungrier. Keep running the ball. And I find it after they come back in after halftime that they stop running the ball because they want to build a lead because everybody's saying they're not building a lead. Well, keep running the ball and you will do that. You got to have patience like you had in the first half, in the first quarter. Have patience and run the rock. Keep running the rock. Don't think that you have to score so much that you take away from what your offense is, and that's running the rock. That's what you do best. That's your ace in the hole. Continue to do that, and everything else will open up. Just because in the third quarter you feel as though you have to score, forget talking about me, forget talking about you. I don't care what everybody else is thinking. What I'm thinking is I've got to run the ball consistently. That's what it is.
Final question for you, okay? Jalen Hurts. You think the organization right now has decided that he's the guy for the next 7 years?
I absolutely think so. They found their goal mine. Look what I found. Look at my tour. This is a guy that I'm.
So this is like a Brady find in the 6th.
No question. That's exactly what it is. Look at what I got. Look what I found. This is my guy. We found this diamond in the rough. He's going to be my quarterback for the next 6 years. That's what they're thinking right now.
He's the next Russell. He's the next Russell Wilson, and how they found Wilson in the 3rd.
Absolutely. That's exactly what he is. That's exactly what he is.
Barrett, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. I mean, hey, dude. I think it's going to be nuts in Philly this weekend, dude. I mean,
bro.
With the Phillies and the Padres, man. I mean, that thing's
unbelievable.
be
Did you go to the games?
charts.
Did you go to the games while you were down there?
I went to one of them. Check it out. So I was. Hey, wait a minute. Watch this. Oh my God! I can't believe how many Philadelphia fans are down on Market Street.
Right.
I was gonna wear this one on the air because I was the pre and post game show host for the Padres.
Oh,
Then
get
I
out.
said,
Okay.
well, these maniacs in Philly would probably not really appreciate this, so I'm probably not going to do it here. So I'm not going to put that bitch on there. Hey, dude, I have never in my life seen a fan base invade. The Dodgers do a really great job when they come down to San Diego too, but there are so many Philly fans, man, rolling around and seeing Harper and Machado in that building. Dude, those two guys, they are a freak show. And that one thing that Sherbert hit, I've been to probably 100+ ball games there at Petco. And the Marine layer, Barrett, it's not conducive to hitting home runs. He hit that thing, and it looked like a BB getting out of Petco. I could not believe where he hit that.
Bro, it looked like he ripped the skin off that ball, man. He rocked. They say it was like his projection was like 120 miles an hour. Bro, that was ridiculous. But hey, they got to at least get 2 here. If they get 2 here, man, I think they win it, man.
You think this is 7? You think it's a 7 game?
No, if they get 2 here, I think they end it
6.
First
they can win it in 6.
Back. Yep.
Yeah, I think this is a 7-gamer, dude. I still think the Padres have a little bit more pitching, but a lot of emotions going on. Brother, I appreciate you doing this for me, man.
No question, man. Thanks a lot, bro.
Much. Thank you, man. Hey, tell the boys I said hi, man. Thank you so much, man. I definitely will, bro. Right. That's our friend Barrett Brooks, man. I totally love that dude, man. He is such a great guy. Hey, don't forget our good friends at Morgan & Morgan, where the fee is free. Look, guys, if you're hurt or injured on the job, there's only one place for you to go. That is to Morgan & Morgan. With over 800 attorneys and offices in Philly, New York, and in Florida, Morgan & Morgan will be there to protect you and your family. Last 30 years, they have to the tune of $13.5 billion. That's what they do. Call them at 800-512-1600. That's 800-512-1600. The call is free. The consultation's free. And when you call Morgan & Morgan, tell them Dan Sileo sent you.
When choosing a lawyer for your injury case, you may ask, does the size of the law firm matter? Well, of course it does. The insurance company, they're huge with unlimited resources. And whether your case is big or small, they're built to bully you out of the money you're owed. But here's the good news. We're big too, the biggest actually. And we're built to fight to make them pay for all that was taken from you. Size is our strength. There's only one Morgan & Morgan. ForThePeople.com.